guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and that means tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. As far as tonight's Smackdown does go, I thought it was a pretty good show. I was entertained. We got some stuff moving forward for WWE as far as Mania matches and whatnot, and build for different things that we're not sure where they're taking place. Like Jade and Naomi. Is that a Mania match? Is it the Friday before Mania? We'll have to wait and see. But we got a lot of good things. I thought the beginning of SmackDown, though, was a little slow. Especially with how much Cody was letting the crowd take over. Like, I get it. That was all just to build to the Drew-Randy match later. But it was just slow and stretched out. And it was just, yeah. Wasn't the biggest fan of the open, but the rest of the show, I enjoyed it. That was pretty good. I thought it was not bad at all. Let me turn this fan on. I didn't realize how warm it's starting to get in this room. Talk about some Friday Night Smackdown. With all of that, chair back situated, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you, excuse me, I thought I got hair in my mouth. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also remember, and I'm trying to find something here. You can probably see me looking for something here on my screen. Why can't I find it? Oh, well, I guess I'm not going to show it. But remember, you can support us either with a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also remember, and I'm trying to find this image now. Oh, well, not that important. But also remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we post, or that way you know when we go live, and that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also remember, if you want to support us in another way, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, remember to head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PWU Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. I'm not sure if they're still in, but as of the last couple of days, John Cena, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair have been re-added to the shop in Fortnite. So the WWE skins have been available this week. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't played it in a little while, but I'm not 100% sure if, excuse me, Michael John? Yeah, you're getting timed out. I don't know how you knew we had tacos for dinner tonight, but that's kind of rude. Anyways, where was I? Going Fortnite. If you don't got John Cena, you don't got Becky Lynch, you don't got Bianca Belair, and you want them or any of their accessories, get them. And when you're buying them, use our code PWU NLIMITED. Also, we're going to start posting more news on our website, pwunlimited.co. I'm going to get more dedicated, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can picture the word in my head, but I can't say it for some reason. Dedicated is a good word, but oh man, now I can't think of it. More, I'm going to make a conscious effort to post more on the website. So if it's news that I'm like, well, that's not really video worthy, but some people might still find it interesting, we will post it on the website. Post the link out to our social media, our Facebook, our Twitch, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Blue Sky, our Threads, and the community tab here on YouTube. So We'll be giving you guys more news potentially, hopefully, possibly. And if that goes well, maybe we'll be looking for a writer. Maybe we'll be looking for someone to write full-time or part-time or whatever. Help us out over there on the website. It's something I've been wanting to do. Grow the website and maybe even hire a team or at least one person to help me out over there. So if you are interested, let me know. But with all of that, you got a good donation here from Esports Gaming Rules. He does state, gotta love WWE in London because London deserves WrestleMania soon, maybe in Wembley. We know the mayor of London, Shadiq Khan, is still talking to Triple H and Nick Khan about getting WrestleMania for London in the future and hopes to makes a appearance with the WrestleMania Golden Belt on Raw from the O2 and about to watch Smackdown USA see Punk get that WrestleMania main event moment because I follow the highlights on X Twitter. So we got a lot to talk about when it comes to CM Punk because Paul Heyman teared me up. The way he told, and I'll get more into it here in moments or whatever, but the way when he tells CM Punk, you are going to live out your dream, your lifelong dream, be a WrestleMania main eventer. And like, you can see Punk, it hits him like, oh shit, yep, nope, we're really announcing this. This is real. Like it was so good. It was so good. And then Punk's delivery afterwards to Roman and then Seth getting pissed off. The main event of this show, if you don't watch anything else on tonight's SmackDown, watch that main event segment. Watch that contract signing. Because they know in pro wrestling, you hear the word contract signing and you get turned off. You go, it's just bullshit and someone's going to get put through the table probably, or someone's going to get attacked. There's going to be some fighting. Not in this one. This one was great. One of the better ones we've seen in a very long time. And it worked well. And I can't wait to talk all about it. But with that, let's get into tonight's Friday Night SmackDown that opened up with a WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came down to the ring, talk about his WrestleMania opponent, John Cena, and the crowd hijacked the show. The crowd's sitting here chanting, Cody, Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes. And like, Cody finally cuts him off and he's like, London. And they're like, yeah, what do you want to talk about? And then like a good amount of the crowd pops again. And he starts to talk about Cena and then Cody, Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes. And he lets him go. And he lets him go. And I'm just like, God damn, did they tell you stretch? Did they tell you to get time out of this bullshit, Cody? Like, it's not horrible. Cody's great on the mic, and I love the way he let the crowd play, but it was just a little too long for me. It's a little too long for me. The way it just, yeah. So, Cody's sitting here talking about John Cena and this and that, and he says, hey, I'm here tonight, but in 3 days, I'll be right back in this same building, in this same city, face to face with John Cena on Raw. That is when not John Cena comes out, but instead, Randy Orton. He highlights where Rhodes is and where he came from. Orton says that he remembers a Cody Rhodes when he was just starting out. He knows that Rhodes worked hard, and he wasn't happy, and he was frustrated. Orton says that Rhodes knew he needed to grow, so he left. He tells Rhodes that this took some big balls to do, which it did. And I hate the thing when everyone goes, well, Drew did it first. Drew left and made himself a bigger name outside of WWE and then came back and became champion. Yes and no. Drew was fired and had no choice but to go and try to make himself a bigger name outside of the company. Cody said, oh, you're not going to push me as me? You want me to be this interstellar galactic Stardust guy, a ripoff of my brother Goldust kind of deal? That's not what I want to do anymore. I'm going to leave. Like Cody wanted to be, if you don't know, there were vignettes and I guess you would call them promotional photos and concept art-ish kind of deals created for what Cody wanted his character to turn into. And Cody wanted, and I'm glad this didn't happen, Cody wanted to be Tony Stark. Where they even had Rhodes Industries logos that look like the Stark Industry logo and all kinds of things created, right? And I'm just glad that didn't happen, because I'm not the biggest fan of when in wrestling you just copy something else. When in wrestling you find a character from a different medium and go, I can be that. Or I like that. I want to be something similar. I just don't know the longevity that would have had. Because is that truly who Cody is? A playboy philanthropist. Granted, in the photos that they took, let's see if we can find him really fast. Hold on. I think Brandy was in the photos with him. Let's see. Rhodes Industries WWE. I think I found him already. Okay, so there's a YouTube video here. I'm gonna skim through the video to show you guys this, but I can't really what's what I'm looking for. Play the video. Let's pull this up on the screen. Why is it not showing? There we go. So as I said, there was a Rhodes Industry logo that looks just like the Stark Industry logo. This was all done on a green screen, of course. Get Cody there in the suit. And granted, Cody did become the guy in the suit. That's Cody. Wearing the suit, being fancy and everything. So we have him here. And the video says Cody and Eden. So Brandy was going to be part of this as Eden Styles. She's whispering something in his ear. They're talking, blah, 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 blah. This was all put together, right? He was supposed to become Tony Stark. Esque, whatever. But I'm glad that never happened. Not because I didn't think Cody can pull it off. I just don't think it had the longevity that Cody being Cody himself, what he is now, has. But with that, where were we? Orton says that Rhodes changed this business, and he appreciates him for it. He says that they knew that Rhodes would eventually be back, and business changed again when he did come back. Orton says Rhodes grew. He brings up Rhodes' Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins, and the way that he fought through that torn pec to do that match, not for him or the company, but for all of you. And he's pointing to the crowd, Randy. Orton then highlights Rhodes' win over Roman Reigns and says he's in the middle of another story. Because your story never ends. Stories never end. One story ends, you pick up another. Now he's taking control of legacy, his legacy. And I'm like, ooh, don't bring up Ted. We don't need to bring up Ted. Orton credits Rhodes for how hot the business has been recently. He tells Rhodes that he loves him, he respects him, and he's proud of him. Orton shifts his focus though to WrestleMania and says, I'm going to kick the head right off of Kevin Owens. He says that Rhodes is going to beat the hell out of John Cena and walk out WWE champion. Then that's where they're going to come ahead. Because Orton will then come for Cody Rhodes. Not for Cody specifically, but the title. He says, when I beat Kevin and you beat John, I want to come after the WWE championship. He says, I won't kick your head in or kick you in the balls like a coward. Instead, he says he respects Cody, and he says he'll tell him when he's coming for him. That then brings out Drew McIntyre, another former WWE champion, and I guess you could say foe of Randy Orton during the pandemic. I think these two had 4 championship matches during the pandemic era. So he says that this is a big love fest. It makes him absolutely sick. McIntyre questions what Orton has done since his return to deserve some sort of a title shot. He tells him to go back and get in line. McIntyre says that Rhodes should have listened to him. And everybody should have listened to him about John Cena. He says that the WrestleMania main event should be Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes. But no, it's because of that Timu Undertaker guy liner wearing Damian Priest that he is not main eventing WrestleMania. McIntyre says that he, not Orton, will be the one to take the title off of Cody. Orton tells him, get to the point. McIntyre says that Kevin Owens might have a point. He says that if Orton provokes him, he'll break his back. Rhodes hits McIntyre McIntyre gets in the ring. Rhodes then does the Dustin Rhodes gold dust bar, the drop down, the pop up. And then Orton tries to go for an RKO, but Drew gets out of there. And Orton and Rhodes stand tall. So it's like, it got better towards the end, but the beginning of this, really just with Cody out there by himself waiting for Randy, it felt like they were stretching and stretching and stretching. So, yeah. I don't know. This was good. I mean, it ended well. It got good. It told us, hey, here are guys that want to come after Cody after WrestleMania if he's still the champion, which I don't think he will be. I don't think Cody retains. I think it's going to be John Cena winning number 17 at WrestleMania. So we'll see. I can see Orton challenging Cody though, or Cena though. Now we got Backlash coming up after Mania. Maybe Orton beats KO and then challenges Cena for the belt. But if it's right after, because it's in St. Louis, so you would think Orton's going to be in a big match in St. Louis at the pay-per-view. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Because it's like, well, if it's just right after WrestleMania, wouldn't Cody just get a rematch? But Roman never got a rematch. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm a little conflicted there. Because it's like, okay, if Cody loses the title to Cena at Mania, wouldn't you want, like, the quick rematch of the next pay-per-view? But then it's in St. Louis. It would be cool to do Cena, Orton, with Cena as the heel, Orton the babyface we've never done. I'm conflicted on this. God damn. Huh. Interesting to think about. But wait, we got to get through WrestleMania first. Got to get through 2 nights of WrestleMania. Also, in case you guys didn't see, Stand and Deliver, the time has been shifted for that show. Instead of starting at noon Pacific, it was either like 11:30 or noon Pacific, what it was originally set for. Now it's 9:30 a.m. Pacific. So they've changed the start time. Speaking of Mania weekends, they changed the start time to an earlier start time for Stand and Deliver. Sean says, this is a good question, not wrestling related, but I can give a little advice on this. Has got any advice for the military? Reviewing my application for it. So I'm not sure what to say here, because I'm not sure what kind of advice you're looking for. Like advice about just joining? Advice about what it might be like? Because I'm going to tell you right now, everybody I know has had, for the most part, a very different experience. Like my experience, I had it easy. Very easy when I was in the military. Like, I almost feel bad how easy I had it. But what I would say is, myself, I wouldn't say I'm not athletic, but I would say I'm not like in peak physical. When I joined the military, I wasn't in peak physical form. I could run 2 miles, because you're supposed to run 2 miles for your physical training and all that, for like your testing. But I was slow. I'll admit it. So that was one thing I wish I would have worked on before going into the military. I could do the push-ups and sit-ups. That's not a problem. It's the running. Being able to, because depending on your age, you have to be able to run 2 miles in a certain amount of time. I don't remember all the different times now. But that's the one thing I wish I would have worked on, because when I signed up in April of 2010, but I didn't go to boot camp till August. So that's April, May, June, July, August. No, October. So I had 5 months. And the reason for that was, and it didn't end up helping me out though, I'd been going to college for graphic design, and I had 23 credits. If you join the military with 20, at least this is what it was in 2010. I don't know if it's different now, but in 2010, if you joined the military with 24 college credits, you automatically get promoted before you even go to basic training. Instead of starting as a P1 private, you start as a P2 private, which is also comes with the pay raise automatically. And so I was like, oh, yeah, I got 23 credits. What if I do one summer class, like a PE class or whatever, which is what I did, and I get that 1 credit. It was a 1 credit PE class over summer. You go like 2-3 times a week. When I asked the recruiter, I'm like, would that help me? He's like, of course it would. As long as you get the transcript before you leave, which didn't fucking happen. That was my problem. I ended up still starting as a P1 because I finished the class literally a week and a half before my ship out date. And so when I said, okay, I need the transcript to show that I passed the class, and now I have 24 credits. So like, oh, it takes a week for the system to show and this, that, and what. I missed it by a week. If the class would have ended a week earlier, then I would have started as a P2. That's my whole thing. But that is one piece of advice I can give. If possible, if you're already in college, you already got those 23, 24 credits, that's a cool thing to know. At least that's how it was in 2010. 24 credits automatically gives you a promotion before you even leave. But that's my other thing. Unless, if you're already not in like really super great physical form, start training early before you leave for basic training. Go on the military website or just search up physical fitness, PT training, and know, for your age, what your requirements are. How fast is your 2-minute mile? How many push-ups do you need to do in your minute? How many sit-ups do you need to do in your minute? And train at that. Work at that. That was my weak point going in, was my run. My sit-ups and push-ups, I was right on dot. I could do them no problem. Sit-ups, easier than push-ups. Push-ups, I can get to, maybe do a couple more. Sit-ups, I never had a problem with sit-ups. But it was my run that I always had an issue with, and I wish I would have, I wish I would have trained up a little harder and better and more. I was only 21 when I went into the Army, but I wish I would have trained up my run and just, did that a little bit more before getting in, because that was my one weak point getting in. But other than that, basic training for me wasn't all that hard. And then once I got into the military, they were like, hey, you're in a unit that's leaving for Iraq in 3 months. So all we're doing is loading containers and shipping them out before you ship out. That was all super easy stuff. Go overseas. I'll give you my full little rundown real fast. Go overseas. Spend 6 months in Iraq. Didn't do shit. Because I was in a networking unit. I wasn't trained for that. That is making sure everyone's phone and internet works. I was trained as a cook. Cooks don't cook in Iraq. You hire locals. So they put me on the night shift answering phones in the office in case anybody ever called with an issue. Rarely ever happened. I had my laptop, played video games the whole time. I was the one supplying everybody with N64 and Super Nintendo games on their computers. Come back. Only a small group of us, they drip feeded us back into the United States. They were like, all right, all the people that are not mission essential technically, you're going back first to reset up home base. I was one of the first ones back because I knew computer stuff. They're like, you're working in the office. And basically, even when everybody came back, when I shouldn't have still been working in the office, they said I was doing a good job with paperwork and working with all the other people and getting their paperwork filed. And the commander liked me as far as like how fast I can get stuff done on the computer. And she's like, yep, you're staying in my office. You're not going cooking. And so I stayed there for another year doing that. And because of that, I actually got out of doing a lot of things that I was supposed to do. So again, got it easy. Then eventually they were like, he's a cook. Like a higher up was like, he's a cook. Why ain't he cooking? And they're like, well, we like him doing this. Like, is he actually trained for that? Is that his job? And they're like, no. And then they were like, well, he's going to start cooking. And I was like, fuck. So then I had to go start cooking, which I didn't hate. I liked cooking. I had a couple different options when they said, what job do you want? And the cook's the one I picked of the 3 or 4 that they gave me. Anyways, so then when we go to the DFAC, because as a cook, sometimes you cook for your unit, sometimes you cook for other units. What you want is to cook for other units. Because then if you have a cool sergeant, they get you out of stuff. They'd be like, oh, we can't come in today, or we can't this day. We have to go do stuff with our unit. We'll be here tomorrow. And you can fluctuate your stuff and whatnot. So I got out easy for that. And then, yeah, I only stayed in for my 4 years or whatever. So I did 8 years total. 4 active, 4 active reserve, which was like guard, but never had to do guard stuff. Once the 4 came up, I was like, this really isn't for me anymore. I did it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it enough to stay inactive. And so I left. But yeah, so like my one thing is for my personal experience was I wish I would have worked up my cardio and some of my physical training early before I left. Anyways, back to this. If you have any specific questions, though, you can ask them in the chat or message me at TimmyBuddy on Twitter or at PW Unlimited on Twitter. Those are the easiest ways to get to me, or just put your specific question in the chat. Anyways, So we move on to our first match of the night. WWE Tag Team Championships on the line. The Street Profits defending against Pretty Deadly. Not a bad match, though. These two teams worked pretty well together. Dawkins and Wilson started the bout off. Dawkins briefly gained the upper hand. Pretty Deadly double teamed him. The Street Profits took control and double teamed Wilson. Or rocks Wilson with a kick. Excuse me. The Street Profits then maintain the advantage. Elton Prince tags in and clears house with a flurry of offense. Dawkins then gains the upper hand. Wilson breaks up a double team maneuver from the Street Profits, and Prince gets a 2 count over after a catapult maneuver. Dawkins then fights off Pretty Deadly and slams Prince. Ford then tags in and goes for a frog splash on Wilson. Prince then catches him with a pin attempt and a 2. The Street Profits then double team Prince, and Wilson breaks up the pin. Pretty Deadly then hits the Street Profits with a European uppercut. They get a near fall off of some spilt milk. Dawkins then dumps Wilson over the ropes, picks him up. Street Profits then hit the Doomsday Blockbuster and pin him to pick up the victory. There we go. Got it good. Street Profits still your tag team champions. Oh, that was a pretty good match. Rated like a B, A, B. I thought these two teams actually worked very well together. Good match and obvious outcome. Sean says, thanks. I graduated a year ago. I'm waiting for my transcript to add to my application. I applied for telecommunications, mental health officer, and military police. Gotcha. Graduated high school or college? That was my thing, like I said. I wish I had that one more college credit before I went in. Or I would have started off with a raise. Granted, it got up to P2 pretty quickly once I finished basic training and my AIT job training. I was basically at a P2 already. So I just, for 4 months, I would have got paid just a little bit more is my thing. I would have got paid just a little bit more. From October to February, I would have got paid just a little bit more. From the time I started training to the time I got to my first unit. Then once I got to the first unit, they basically were like, "Oh, we're going to make it P2 before we leave." So, moving forward. Also, we got that new ring announcer I forgot to mention. We got that new ring announcer. His name is, it's on the tip of my tongue, Mark Nash. Can't remember his real name, but his wrestling name is Mark Nash. He's okay. To me, he sounded a lot like Greg Hamilton, but he was yelling more. Like his voice sounded like a slight octave higher than Greg Hamilton, and he was yelling more. But then eventually I just he's just like all the other ones. Eventually I just stopped even realizing it was a different guy, to be completely honest. Now what do I think of him? He's okay. I'll have to hear him a couple more weeks to get used to him. Like if I'm basing him just off tonight, I would go, I like Mike Rome better. If I'm talking about who's there. Alicia Taylor's great. I like Mike Rome a little better. But give him a couple weeks, grow into him, see how it goes. It's like Joe Tessitore. A lot of people are like, I hate Joe Tessitore after night 1. Oh, there's so-and-so back. Corey Graves. But then it's like, no. Joe Tessitore actually brings a different feel to the show, which is freaking great. So moving forward, we had a backstage segment. Donna Chance and Caden Carter with Zelina Vega. Alba Fire and Piper Niven arrive. And they're followed in by Chelsea Green, the Women's United States Champion. Vega says that she's going to become a big threat to Green in the title. And then Katana Chance and Caden Carter challenge the Secret Hervis, and we get a tag match. So it's Katana Chance and Caden Carter versus Piper Niven and Alba Fire. Carter and Chance double team Fire early on. Chance takes Fire down with crossbody. Niven dives onto them off the apron. Niven overpowers Chance. Fire and Niven then isolate Chance and maintain the advantage. Carter rallies and hits Fire with a running big boot. She gets a leg drop off the ropes. Niven accidentally squashes Fire. Carter and Chance then double team Niven, and they go for the keg stand, but Fire breaks up the pin. Carter dives onto Fire. Chelsea Green then distracts the referee. Niven catches Carter and hits her with the Piper Driver and picks up the victory. So the Secret Hervis do get the win. Fine match. Nothing bad. Solid BB minus. I thought both teams, again, just like in the tag title match, better match, but just like in that match, both teams worked very well together. Good showcase for all four. Moving forward, the United States Championship was on the line. LA Knight versus Braun Strowman, and this ended in exactly how we all expected. Jacob Fatu running down and causing a stir. So Strowman overpowers Knight early on. Wade Barrett keeps talking on commentary like, oh, I bet you LA Knight regrets helping Braun Strowman now. Now he's got to fight the bloke. So Knight fights back. Strowman continues to control the action. Knight rallies with a drop kick through the ropes. Strowman floors him with a big boot. Strowman maintains the advantage. Knight, though, fires back up and hits some punches. Strowman stomps him. He hits Knight with some clubbing blows. Knight goes for a suplex, but he can't lift the big man up. Knight catches Strowman with a bulldog. He then hits Strowman with some punches. He suplexes Strowman and hits him with the elbow. Strowman then sends Knight over the top rope with the clothesline. This is when Jacob Fatu then comes out, interferes, attacking both men, and the referee just calls the match off. No contest. So technically, LA Knight remains your WWE North American champion. Not North American champion. I'm thinking NXT. United States champion. Fatu then hits Strowman with a Samoan drop on the broadcast table. Knight takes the fight to Jacob. Fatu drops him with a pop-up Samoan drop. He hits Strowman with some sort of a hip attack. Fatu hits a moonsault off the top and hits hits another one. So Fatu stands tall over the two baby faces. It's fine. Strowman and Knight was okay. The attack afterwards was exactly what you would expect from a Jacob Fatu attack. A Samoan drop, a couple moonsaults, and there you go. Solid work here from all. Rumor is, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not, rumor is that a Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman last man standing match has been pitched for WrestleMania. Whether that's the match itself or not, we'll have to wait and see. Jimmy Uso is asked about slapping Gunther on Raw. He says, if I had to, I'd do it again. I'll slap him again. He said, I look forward to facing Gunther this Monday on Raw. And says, Jay, he says, after I beat him on Raw, Jay gonna beat him at WrestleMania for the gold. He bumps into The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Miz says that Jimmy and Jay are nothing more than sidekicks. They're never going to make it to the top. They aren't the main event characters. He calls Jimmy and Jay blips in the story of the Bloodline. Miz warns Uso not to slap him. So Jimmy slaps the shit out of The Miz and then goes, you know what? I got Gunther on Monday, but I'm going to talk Nick Aldis about me and you tonight. So basically that's set up Jimmy Uso versus The Miz for later on in the night. We stay backstage. Solo Sikoa, along with Tama Tonga, confronts Jacob Fatu. He kind of brushes him off. Tension rises between the two. And Fatu says that when it comes to Braun Strowman, he'll be the last man standing. And I'm like, yeah, I think we are getting that last man standing match then. He wasn't going to use that line for nothing. He then says that his goal is to go on, win the United States Championship with or without Solo by his side. And he says, "Yada mean." So, yeah, I do think there is a good chance that we get Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania in a last man standing match. Then we get this video from Naomi, and oh man, is this good. This is really good. Naomi killed it here. Naomi questioned how she got where she is. She says she has always been a woman to do the right thing. Naomi says her attacking Jade Cargill wasn't any different, though. She says that to be seen as the bad one in this situation breaks her heart. And she didn't understand how Cargill could come in and take her place alongside Bianca. She asked Belair to ask herself who inspired her and who had her back. Naomi says that Jade is not the one. She says that she's done with being undervalued, underappreciated, and being treated like a third wheel. Naomi says that if Cargill keeps being in her way, she would proceed with caution. And just like last week when she had the gear on, the caution tape, she had even more caution tape on. Looking cool. So I like this. I thought Naomi was awesome. A plus. A plus here. Naomi killed it. This promo, video, all everything. This is great. Naomi killed this. So backstage, Jade Cargill tells Nick all this. She has been trying to get her hands on Naomi. He says that nobody has seen her, though. Cargill says that it's on site. I'm like, what's on site? What does that mean? You're on site? You're in the building? She's not in the building? What the fuck? I don't even know. Meechin and BFAB then tell Cargill, she'll handle her business, and Naomi deserves what's coming to her. So then we got another one of these teasers for 4, but this time we actually saw a mysterious character. We saw a mysterious character that actually said the words, "You will be." There's a little voiceover that said, "You will be." I'm all for it's fucking Aleister Black. It's got to be at this point. After last week when they did the Wyatt kind of thing at the end with the quick flash of a photo of something or other, I'm like, oh, maybe it's a Wyatt thing. No, it's got to be Aleister Black. It's got to be Malachi coming back as Aleister. So then moving forward, we have Meechin for Charlotte Flair. Naomi attacks Meechin before Flair's entrance, though. She then attacks BFAB and slams her into the barricade. She continues to unload on BFAB. Jade Cargill runs down. Naomi flees through the crowd. Flair comes to the ring for her match. Cargill briefly stares her down. Flair drills Meechin with a big boot and continues the action. She continues to ground Meechin in the ring. Meechin rallies back, though. Flair gains the upper hand and Meechin rocks her with a kick. Flair then answers with a kick of her own. Meechin plants Flair with a powerbomb. Meechin gains some momentum a little bit, even enough to get a 2 count on Charlotte. She then dumps Flair with a back suplex. She hits a cannonball in the corner. Flair dodges the eat defeat, though. Meechin, though, goes again and hits an eat defeat, but Flair gets her foot on the ropes to break the count. Flair then targets the legs of Meechin and eventually puts her in a figure 8 and taps her out to pick up the victory. Good solid match here. Charlotte getting a big win before her big title match. B-, B to B- for this match. I thought it would have been a little better for Charlotte to not have to. I thought it would have been better to see Charlotte not face a already attacked, hurt opponent. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to build us, tell us, hey, Charlotte Flair, she's the badass. She could beat anybody. Maybe she could go on and beat Tiffany. It's like, but then having her beat someone that's already been attacked, it's like, took me out of it just a little bit. So on Backstage, the women's champion Tiffany Stratton is asked about Flair's promo last week. She says Flair is insecure. So insecure that she can't let a rookie get a word out. Stratton says she's not the one who has something to lose at WrestleMania. As if Flair loses, she'll be losing to a, quote, little girl, as Charlotte put it. She says maybe Flair will finally shut up when she beats her. Stratton says that she will walk out of WrestleMania with a title. Okay, that was all right. Nothing special. We then got Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Again, I want to say back in the pandemic era, 2020, 2021 time frame, they fought like 4 times over the WWE Championship. So these two have worked a bit together. Orton and McIntyre battled back and forth. No real one getting an advantage early on. McIntyre talks some trash by asking Orton how his back feels. Orton gains the upper hand and punches McIntyre into the corner. They then head to the outside where Orton slams McIntyre onto the broadcast table twice after McIntyre tried to do the Orton little back suplex onto the table, where I'm like they telegraphed this match. They fucked it up. So Drew is standing, say this is the table, right? Make sure it's tight before I lay it sideways. Drew's standing, here's the red pen. And this is in case you guys didn't see. Hold on. I'm trying to do this with anyways, okay, hold on. Drew's the red. Dropping everything, fuck. Drew's the red pen, Randy's the black pen. This is the table. Drew goes to pick up Randy for the back suplex, but Drew's the one next to the table. So I'm like, oh, Randy's about to counter this move. Because how are you going to pick him up and then go to drop him for the back suplex when you're not even on the side of the table? Randy then reverses it and boom. Drops Drew on the table twice. And I'm just like, yeah, they kind of gave away that was getting countered. Anyways, I went into that long explanation for nothing. McIntyre then thumbs Orton in the eye at one point and gives him a Russian leg sweep to the barricade, and they talk about Orton's bad back and spine. McIntyre gains the upper hand. Orton thumbs him in the eye. They trade blows back and forth. McIntyre briefly does take control, but Orton fires back up with a clothesline and a snap power slam. Orton then drops McIntyre with a spiked DDT. He sets up for an RKO, but Kevin Owens walks down the ramp to cause a distraction. McIntyre then hits him with a Claymore and picks up the victory. Solid B+. I can't say A- to an A. A solid B+. Like, nothing wrong other than that one thing that took me out of it a little bit. With the whole, hey, Drew's going to try and do your move, but he's not even in the right spot to try. Solid B+, though. Orton pulls Orton out of the ring and slams him onto the announce desk. He then goes for a pile driver, but Orton reverses it. Orton goes for a punt, but then, well, Kevin gets away on the crowd, running, beelining for the exit. Cool. Nice little brawl, I guess you would call it. We then get a video package that tells us, no. Yeah. So we got the video package first. We had a video package telling us that this guy that we've been seeing, the luchador, the masked wrestler in orange, or orange lighting, is who we thought it was. It's Rey Fenix. And guess what? He debuts next week in Chicago. Rey Fenix will be making his Smackdown WWE debut, actually, next week in Chicago, Illinois. And people have been asking, why is he not with Penta? Why is he not with his brother? And it's simple. They didn't think they were going to have Fenix by now. They didn't think they were going to have Fenix this early. And they already have all these plans for Penta going into WrestleMania that they don't want to change. Or they don't want to add Fenix to. Spoiler alert, rumor is Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship, Fenix is involved. You can kind of see who else would be in there without me having to tell you. But it's like, or Penta's involved. I think I said Fenix. Penta's involved. And so it's like, you've got this big match for Penta at WrestleMania. You add Fenix into the mix there, and it's like, oh, do you got to add Fenix as a wrestler or as a second to Penta? Once, and that's my thing. I don't think they want Fenix to come in and feel like the sidekick to Penta, the extra to Penta. You either want them to come in as a solid, equal tag team, or you have them do their own thing for a little bit before they come together as a tag team. So you're ready building up Penta as this badass, cool guy doing shit on his own. Build up Fenix as this badass, cool guy that can do shit on his own. Then eventually, maybe with the draft of this summer, late spring, you bring them together the same brand. But I'm actually more in favor of doing it this way instead of just being like, oh, Penta's on Raw, put Fenix on Raw. Because again, remember, they weren't expecting to have Fenix this early. They weren't expecting him to get out of his AEW contract before it was up. And it wasn't supposed to be up till the second half of 2025. So everyone has been asking, why is Fenix here now and not with his brother? You know, why SmackDown, not Raw? That's why. Because you already got all these plans for Penta. And in my opinion, you add Fenix to Penta, Fenix is just going to look like little brother, but Penta's the star. So we'll see how it all does work out. I hope it works out well for Fenix. So yeah, The Miz and Jimmy Uso. A fine match, B-. Nothing special. It's a Miz match. It was a Miz match. It wasn't even like one of these, well, can't even say like one of these great Jimmy Uso matches because Jimmy Uso ain't even all that great. Like Jimmy's a average wrestler on his own. Jimmy's a great tag guy with his brother Jay. Never really realized how much Jay was holding that group together. Fuck. Anyways. Uso gains the advantage early on. He drops The Miz with an uppercut. Miz does take control with some moves that grounds Uso. Uso nails the Miz with an uppercut again. The Miz then snaps his neck off the ropes and hits him with a neck breaker. He grounds Uso. He rallies back. They fight a little bit back and forth, but Miz has the advantage. Uso fires up with a clothesline. He rocks the Miz with the right hand. He then drops him with a clothesline. Uso then drops him a couple times. Uso blasts him with a kick, super kick, Uso splash, victory. There we go. Simple match. Simple Miz Jimmy match. B-. Nothing special. Jimmy then grabbed one of the headsets from commentary and was like, Gunther, I'll see you on Monday. After I beat your ass on Monday, you ain't going to be the ring general anymore. I'm going to knock you down to a private. I was like, oh, well, that was good. The ring announcer kind of sounded like Jeremy Borash. No. Go watch LFG. You don't remember what Jeremy Borash sounded like. This guy sounded like a slightly higher pitched Greg Hamilton. At least to me. If he sounded like Jeremy Borash to you, cool. Didn't to me, though. We got this guy, Louis Capaldi. I have no clue who this guy is. They say he's a Grammy-nominated singer or whatever. I don't know. Fuck. But Drew meets up with him in the back. They showed him earlier in the crowd. And Drew gets interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Fun, upbeat interview. Like, oh, yeah, cool. We're going to go hang out. We're going to have some beers. People come join us. Ba-da-da-da-da. And he goes to walk out of the building. And as he opens the door, boom, there's Damian Priest on the attack. Priest slams his head into the door a couple times. Takes him over to a car. They get on the hood. And he gives him a goddamn south of heaven through the windshield, right? Glass shatters. And so they cut to commentary, and Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett are like, oh my God, what did we just see? All that glass shattered onto McIntyre. McIntyre thrown into the windshield. And I'm like, McIntyre's wearing a shirt and a thick leather jacket. Fucker's fine. Glass had nothing to do with him. So they play this up like it's devastating. They then tell us that the contract signing is next. We cut to the back. We see CM Punk walking, and then walks past Drew, who's laying there on the car, all hurt and whatnot, with medical looking over him. And he kind of looks at Drew and laughs. And my first thought was, bet you it ain't real glass. Real glass? Well, yeah, bet you it ain't real glass. Anyways. So yes. Punk gets the last laugh as he looks at Drew McIntyre laying there hurting after being slammed onto the windshield of a car. Then we get to our main event segment. Ooh, was this good? Was this good? A plus here from all. Roman comes out first, Paul Heyman. Got a table in the ring, ready for this contract signing, 3 chairs. Reigns says, London, acknowledge me. He then says, where the fans sing, that's beautiful. He says he's there to sign this contract. Before he can say anything else or even sign it, Seth Rollins comes out. Seth comes out and says that the fans have beautiful voices. Rollins notes that he and Reigns have a lot of history in this building, and they put The Undertaker through a table here. He highlights their history. He says they accomplished their mission to reshape the WWE. Reigns says, we died a long time ago, and it's only me that made WWE what it is today. And I made them desirable to Netflix. Rollins says that this mindset is why he keeps screwing Reigns. He says that Reigns let the biggest snake in the world, CM Punk, into their garden, and Reigns shook his hand. Rollins says that once again, he'll have to clean up after Roman Reigns and the mess that he made. He says, but the reason I've never taken you down is because, yes, you are the top guy here. You are the one that's getting us all this stuff. You are one of the ones that's got me this great paycheck. And he goes on, and like, kind of like brown nose into Roman or whatever. And CM Punk comes out. He sits down at the table, flips through the contract, and Roman's like, whoa, hey, guy, what are you doing? What you got to read it over? You highlighting some things? You got to go to page 4 and sign the thing. And Punk's like, oh, calm down. And he's like, I'm just, formalities. And Punk's like, wise man, smarten him up. Heyman goes over to Punk and gets down on his knees. He's like, I want to tell you, in that contract, you're getting what you want. You are going to live out your lifelong dream of being a WrestleMania main eventer because your match, this match, will main event the first night of WrestleMania. And clearly, both men are emotional about this. Heyman's fighting back tears. Punk is kind of fighting back tears. Punk looks down the contract. He's like, really? He looks through it real fast. He's like, flips a couple more pages, signs it. He goes, all right then. And frickin' Seth loses his shit and goes, look what you did. You did it again. He doesn't deserve, what has he done to deserve this? To deserve a WrestleMania main event. To be in the main event of WrestleMania is sacred, and he has done nothing to deserve to be here in this position. It's all your fault. Roman then says, yeah, it is. You should thank me. You should thank your tribal chief. I'm the reason you're main eventing WrestleMania. Punk then gets down on one knee and says, I thank you, my tribal chief, the one that bestows the Ulafala. Big dog? Big dog? Roman kind of looks at him like, oh, not that one. Nope, we don't do that no more. He goes, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. He then stands up and goes, oh, but, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know this exactly. He says something along the lines of like, oh, but if you thought that was the favor I mowed, yeah, that ain't it. He drops the mic down. It was weird because like Punk signs the contract and then we get the thing on the bottom of the screen, you know, that says down here, Smackdown, copyright. And then it says executive producers, Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting, before Seth flips his shit when Punk signs the contract. And then Punk does the whole, oh, yeah, that was my favor road? Yeah, no, that ain't it. And he drops the mic down and then it just slowly fades to black. Not like a cut, just a fade to black, and then you hear the doo-dum on Netflix. So, yeah, great main event segment, but it's like, what the hell? It's a goddamn favor. I knew it wasn't Paul making the match a main event, because it's like, Paul Heyman doesn't really have that stroke. If he does, whatever, but it's like, no, what is this goddamn favor? Are we going to know what the favor is at WrestleMania? Do we have to wait till after WrestleMania? Are we going to learn before WrestleMania? Is somehow Heyman going to help Punk win and screw over Roman and join back with Punk? I'd love that. Heyman and Roman, fantastic together. But it somewhat ran its course, for me at least. Like, if they were to end it, I wouldn't hate it. But putting him and Heyman back together, Punk and Heyman, that is, I'd love that. Because if you think about it, who was the first guy to say, I'm the Paul Heyman guy? I'm a Paul Heyman. It was CM Punk. The first true, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. So, I love it. I love the thought of Heyman and Punk back together, getting a heel CM Punk at that. Ooh, boy. Let's do it. I don't know if that's the route they're going to go. That's just me fantasy booking and kind of hoping and wishing and wanting. So, yeah, with all of that, I got to get the poll going here on Twitch really fast. New poll. What did you think of Smackdown? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, the poll is live on Twitch if you're watching there. We'll go check the other polls first. Let's refresh these. Twitter, Threads, YouTube. As far as the Threads poll does go, 68% liked the show. 21% thought it was just all right. And as far as the comments do go, Twitter says, how could I have seen it? It didn't start till 8. You could if you were watching on Netflix. International Netflix with a VPN. We have a video on our YouTube on how to get a great free VPN. As far as the Twitter comments do go, or Twitter says 65% liked the show, 27% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. As far as the YouTube community pulse. 86% liked it. 11% thought it was just all right. 4% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, 80% liked the show. 18% thought it was just all right. And 2% didn't like it. As far as everybody that voted on Twitch, they all liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live on Monday for Monday Night Raw. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Remember, Raw is in London, so it's early, starting again 4 Pacific Eastern. No, 4 p.m. Eastern. On Monday, same as today, starting early on Netflix for everybody. Even if you have US Netflix, you can still watch early Monday Night Raw, just like this past Monday. So we'll see you guys this Monday, early again after Raw. Have a good one, guys.